So, ladies and gentlemen, in a previous podcast, we talked about how Mark Holden, a very highly ranked U.S. collegiate player that Montreal drafted, was eventually traded for this player. And in my very sincere opinion, he played a huge factor in Montreal winning the Cup in '86 because he was a very, very capable backup. Could have been a shared number one with Patrick Roy, but for what he did for Montreal and boosted the chances and the feelings among Montreal fans, we owe him $1 million. Of course, we're going to talk about the legend, and definitely a legend, in my view, the most underrated goaltender of his generation, the great Douglas Henry Soetaert, or Doug Soetaert. Now, Doug Soetaert was basically one of the most highly regarded young players in the Western Junior Hockey League, AAA Junior, with the Edmonton Oil Kings. He played 4 seasons in that program, and his final season eventually drew a lot of interest. And the New York Rangers, at the end of the '75 season, his last, came calling and took him in the second round. Some people say 30th overall. I've seen some stuff say it was 31st overall. But Soetaert's last season with Edmonton, in a very, very competitive offensive league, played 65 games, which was unheard of, ladies and gentlemen, at the time. He had 31 wins, 27 losses, and 5 ties, with a 4.41 goal against average. And very important, ladies and gentlemen, played 3,700 minutes and never gave up an empty net goal, with an 88% save percentage. So the Rangers took a chance on him. He was sent to Providence Reds for some seasoning, and 16 games with the Reds. Played 8 games with the Rangers that year on a very competitive squad. 77 split time between the Rangers and New Haven. 12 games with the Rangers, 16 with Nighthawks. 78 again, splitting time, 38 with New Haven, 6 with the Rangers. 79, 3 games with New Haven, but more regular play with the Rangers, and that team made the Stanley Cup final that year, ladies and gentlemen. So that was his first, not say appearance in a final, because John Davidson was the starter then. Now, in 1980, with the Nighthawks, again, he split time. 8 games with the Rangers, 5-2 record. And New Haven, one of his best seasons, 17 wins, 8 losses, and 5 ties. So this is over a period of 5 seasons where he's shifting time between the Rangers and New Haven. Now, in 1980, he had the big breakthrough. He was kind of their unofficial number one. He played in 39 games with a 16-16-7 record with a 3.93. At the time, we were considering one of the top young goalies, or experienced young goalies in the league. Now, he eventually found his way to Winnipeg, and Winnipeg was a terrible team before he arrived. He almost committed a miracle, ladies and gentlemen. 39 games, 82 in Winnipeg. He had a 500 record, 13, 14, and 8. He had a 500 record a second season with Winnipeg. 83, 84, he was technically the number one. An 18, 15, 7 record. Sure, he had a high goals against average, but generally that's what happens with the Winnipeg teams at a time. But here comes the brain fart, ladies and gentlemen. We turn on the news, the evening news, 6 o'clock, 20 after 6. Me and my dad are sitting down, and we're saying to ourselves, we're hearing a buzz here, and we saw kind of a little bit of a picture of Mark Holden, who was the goaltender for the Voyageurs, was quite strong, and we're saying to ourselves, well, this is interesting. What's going on here? And he said, we have a big announcement to shake up the Voyageurs. A longtime fan favorite Mark Holden has been traded to the Montreal Canadiens. And we see on the right-hand side of the thing, looks like Doug Soetaert. And Dad says, don't tell me we got Doug Soetaert. Sure enough, we got Doug Soetaert. Mark Holden only played parts of 3 seasons with Montreal. A good prospect, but unproven. Soon as he arrived, ladies and gentlemen, you could smell the cup in the air. Sure, Steve Penny didn't get past Quebec in that year. He played 1 game in the playoffs. 28 games with Montreal in 85, 14, 9-4 record. But the big year, the Patrick Roy, backing up Patrick Roy, when he needed a strong veteran backup. Ladies and gentlemen, 11-7-2, 2.77 average. And it was almost like a running joke because Doug Soetaert with the big towel around his neck would come off at the end and congratulate, and he didn't stay with Montreal after '86, but like the song Justin talks about, the damage is done, so I guess I'd be leaving. He ended up with the Rangers again a second time, and you want to finish where you start, but these 12 seasons in the NHL were extremely, extremely productive. 284 games, 6 shutouts, with 110, 104, and 42 record. What really stands out, ladies and gentlemen, an average under 4 with 86% save percentage. You got to look at the teams he played for, some Winnipeg and Ranger teams. But for a guy that rarely played in the playoffs, again, getting Winnipeg to the playoffs was a big goal in the mid-'80s years. But ladies and gentlemen, every time you bring up Doug Soetaert, and in retirement, he's done a lot too. He's taken executive roles with such key minor pro teams as the Kansas City Blades, the Everett Silvertips, the Omaha Akasar-Ben Knights, and in 2016-17, he became GM of the Tucson Roadrunners of the American Hockey League. Now, when Tucson decided to make Soetaert GM, allegedly the local media couldn't pronounce his name. He said Sweetheart or whatever like that. But when he said Stanley Cup champion, ears perked up. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. They say there's only one Christmas per year. Say there's only one Halloween. But for Doug Soetaert, every time I saw him on the bench as the backup, I had that same great feeling at Brian Hayward backing up Patrick Waugh. Maybe if he would have stayed with Montreal, but he's getting kind of, not say long in the tooth, but, he was 30 years old when they won the Cup. And, Montreal was trying, different young players. I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I'd much rather Doug Soetaert with one leg than Andrei Rossikov with two. That's all I'm saying. So, thanks for listening, and I'm not disregarding what Mark Holden did as a pro. Very talented guy, but you can't compare because Mark Holden was never going to be a strong backup in Montreal because he tried him all those times. And, Soetaert, if you play for the Rangers, you can play for Montreal, Philadelphia, or Toronto. You're used to the big city. And I do remember Marv Albert basically saying, when are they ever going to give Doug Soetaert a true chance? And he waited for his true chance, ladies and gentlemen, over 7 seasons. And he was dedicated to the Rangers like you wouldn't believe. From 76, to 81, to be, up and down, up and down, up and down, takes a strong man not to snap. And he didn't snap. So thanks for listening. Give me a like, subscribe, or a comment. Always appreciate it. And again, 100,000 page views as of today. Thank you so much. Bye.